Hello. My name is Roy Jane Tantuan Pagalan, a grade 12 student. I am here today to discuss about freedom. What is freedom? What the essence of freedom? Freedom is an intrinsic and essential property of a person. It is ability to make choice. Freedom is rooted in the human person, self-determination, and exercise of intellect and free will. So before that, let's first define self-determination. How self-determination relates to freedom. So, self-determination refers to the ability of individuals or a group to make choices and decisions about their own lives and destinies. Self-determination is a necessary condition for freedom because without the ability to determine one's own path and make choices according to one's own values and desires, true freedom cannot be achieved. Freedom is also understood as the power to be what you want to be and the ability to decide and create yourselves. Freedom is also understood to be the power to create and define oneself. Freedom is an inherent aspect of our humanity as it allows us to exercise our autonomy, make choices, and pursue our desires. We are free to choose to be a good person or to act in a good way because a good action can define that person as a good influence, a good person, a good people. There are three kinds of freedom. The first one is physical freedom, psychological freedom, and moral freedom. Physical freedom expresses oneself physically without any restrictions imposed by force. Like example, if you want to travel somewhere, you can travel it without any pagduha-duha or kanang mabalaka ka, madili ka sugtan because you have a freedom to act or move whatever you want. Basta in a good way or you know your limit. Next is psychological freedom or also called freedom of choice. So, the person is free to perform actions that he or she considers right and wise. A person is also free to act or not to act. We are free to act whatever we want or not to act. It always depends on us. Kanang walay makabot sa tuog. Kana ato ang gipili kay nag-base ta sa ato ang own belief. O di ba? Lahi man yung tag-believe. So wala sila karapatan nga i-judge ato ang choice kay we have a freedom of choice. That's we call psychological freedom. The last one is moral freedom. Moral freedom that uphold human dignity and goodness. Moral freedom is you choose to do goodness than bad. When you choose to help that person than laughing it. If you choose to be a good influence. So that's it. Now, let's talk about two elements of freedom. There are two elements of freedom. The voluntariness and responsibility. Let's talk first what is voluntariness. Voluntariness refers to the ability of a person to act out of his or her own free will and determination. This means that a person may decide to act or not to act, and these decisions are made out of his or her own free will. Voluntary means that a person may act even if he or she is not required or called to take action. Voluntary acts are free acts which can be assigned a corresponding a moral value. The second element is responsibility. Responsibility refers to the person being accountable for his or her actions and their consequences. Taking responsibility can either mean a person voluntarily taking responsibility for his or her own actions or being held responsible by other people. Whenever you know you committed a bad actions, you can either voluntarily confess it or it to that person or to other persons that will point it out and hold you responsibility. Freedom is expressed through the act of making choices. It is therefore important for persons to exercise caution and prudence and reflect on the possible courses of action in making decisions or doing actions. Freedom should be exercised in a responsible and beneficial manner. Individuals must exercise control over their action and recognize reasonable limits to their action. Freedom should also be exercised with regards for knowledge of truth. Each choice or action must be made after careful thought and reflection. Finally, it is our responsibility as persons to uphold not only our individual's freedom but also the freedom of others.